Good afternoon, folks. A lot to talk about right now. First of all, it's literally gotten to the point where people are literally angry at one another. Now let's talk about all these hate groups. There's several civil wars going on. One where all hate groups are going after one another, taking shots at one another. Literally, the KKK hates everybody, whether you're a Democrat or Republican. They seem to be kind of like centrist when it comes to that. I mean, they seem to have more far right, but then again, they can be kind of far left. I mean, they're kind of like in the middle because they hate all blacks technically. They're a very racist group. I mean, at one time they were known as the Democrat Party because they're the founders of the Democrat Party. And they've had a mix of Democrats and both Democrats and Republicans in their party that are once KKK members. I mean, I don't even know where to start with these people. They're evil people indeed. But let's look at how they were done. I mean, there's black people, both Republican and Democrat. I mean, I don't even know where to start with this. Now we look at the Proud Boys, another hate group. They can kind of be that way, but they seem to be more far right. But they both have, mainly all men, but they have both black and white in it. Not just white, like the KKK. But now we look at other hate groups, such as Antifa. Far left. Now we get, they're all about fighting for peace and justice, but it doesn't seem like peace and justice. But then we look at Black Lives Matter. Both white and black people, or liberals and Democrats who literally hate, who they fall into the same category, an anarchist, who literally hate us, but hate white people, blacks who literally hate white people who are in the anarchist / Antifa. Same with white, who hate white people, but yet they hate black people who don't seem the same view as them. And then you have conservative versus liberals. And it's come down to the point where literally everybody has fixed bayonets. If any of you have ever watched the movie with The Last Samurai, where Tom Cruise stars in it, and he works with the Japanese first, and then he battles it out, and it's one-sided pretty much. Well, you ever heard the old phrase, don't bring a knife to a gunfight? Well, that's pretty much what this is, or a sword to a gunfight or anything of that nature. Well, that's technically what this is. I mean, you got pitchforks, blades, and knives, and only things like that to a gunfight, while that's what the liberal left has. While the conservative right has brought guns, bayonets, ammo, even cannons. I mean, they brought literally everything. And these are just the smaller people that are not like the far left and far right. I mean, these are like the middle people who do have left-wing views and right-wing views. But are all about stopping the battle. They want to charge at them. This could easily be like a Pickett's charge at Gettysburg, where they just have bayonets fixed, which would be the pitchforks. And then you have the conservatives who are armed with machine guns, armed with shotguns, armed with rifles, even Gatling guns that they used during the Civil War. No surprise there. waiting for them to come on very closer. Which some of those guns can reach far distance. Even 50 caliber Berettas. Very far distance. They can easily shoot people apart if they shoot that far. Even 20 millimeter cannons. Even cannons from the Civil War, cannons from the Spanish-American War. All wars. We are armed to teeth to nail. And all they got is pitchforks, shovels, stuff to knock you upside the head that'll knock you out. They won't even come close to you if we use that kind of ammunition on them. The liberals, I don't know where liberals will even come close to winning if we are armed to tooth and nail like that. They won't win. Why? Because they're scared. They will be mowed down to no ends meet. Even if we have that much ammunition and we're armed tooth and nail, they would only, even if we have only like 800 and they have 10,000 troops and we have 800, we'd still mow them down. I mean, we can have AR-15s, we can, literally every gun that they don't want us to have, we would mow them down in a heartbeat with. But I mean, that is what it is. But the hypocrisy goes high. Hypocrisy is just bad on their behalf. I mean, liberals just hate us. We hate liberals. And yet, they think that they only believe what benefits them. But yet, what really irritates me is Biden's Secretary of State. Jennifer, you are just a joke and a half. She goes on to say this. If anyone's been banned from one social media site, they should be banned from all of them. Really? So does that mean a leftist? Does that mean a liberal? Or does that just mean conservatives and that's it? Just asking. I mean, it can mean anybody. Does that mean one side only or all of them? I mean, well, if she gets banned, does that mean her? Or is that liberal privilege? It's sad. It is literally sad what this country's come down to. And yet they're silent about what's going on down in Cuba. The uprisings, the battles. They are literally angry with the communist government. They don't want a communist government. But yet, she is being so authoritarian towards us, conservatives, and people who are against her, against the Biden administration. We can't even have an opinion. This is what it's come down to. This country can't even have an opinion against Biden. I guess that's the way things go around here, I guess. I'm at a total loss for words of how this even works anymore. When you're in this boat, you would understand where I come from. Even totalitarian, which would be a communist government, authoritarian is more like what we're dealing with right now because we're not quite to the communist level yet. Totalitarian is what, like, communist governments are. But this regime that's in office right now is literally pushing us to the limit where we can't even do what we want to do anymore. Well, I'm out of here. You have a good one, guys. Hit the like button. Hit the bell for notifications, and I'll get back with you so you can get what I have. With that being said, peace.